Alright, so we're gonna make something. We're gonna make a regular Czech deck. This is CZ. There we go. Yeah. Now the Czechs are very interesting because they're Eastern Bloc, but they don't like using Russian weapons. Or when they do, they modify them a lot. So what do we need? We need a fob. Always get a fob. Fobs are, I want to see someone try to make a deck without a fob. You probably could with just helicopters. Take nothing but these. Maybe. But command. That seems like a pretty good command. You will get you in you. There we go. Then we get one of you and one helicopter. So yeah. Infantry. Well, I love reserve infantry, so we're gonna get them. Scary, no, new. Ooh. Yeah, we're gonna get 2 you, and we're gonna need can I get them? Now Vidra too? No, I can't. No, but we can get them in the yeah, we're gonna get these fire support. The pins are in 2 of these. They'll be our. This is pretty good. Yep. Support. What to get? What to get? Well, for artillery, we're gonna go with you. Might as well get 4. Don't need another. We're gonna need a 1 thing of strops. Yeah, these are good. We'll get and we'll get 2 of you. So we have 20 of these. These are really good. So this way we have artillery, we got everything. Tanks. Well, we're gonna take the T-62, 2 T-62 CZs, even though I don't think they ever adopted this. So, 2 Dynas, 1 thing of T-72 M1s, or no wait. Yeah, and then 3 Modernas. I'd rather have 3 than 1. Like, I'll just go over how to use everything. I'm just gonna go through making it real quick. Recon. What should we get? Well, we're gonna get a helicopter. I'd rather have this because it has the ATGM. Sniper squad. T-64C. That seems pretty good. Yep, we'll need that. Vehicle. We shall get prams, because they're 1 thing of pram. 1 Conqueror's M. I got that. 2 TO-55s. And helicopter, what do we get? Alright, Mi-4s, 2 of them, and 6. Oh my god, we can take 3. Look at them. It's great. And we take the dolphin. And more dolphins. Because dolphins are great. Because they're really cheap. Alright, now to go over everything. Alright, we already went over this. Your command, I got it because it has an ATGM and the Grom, which isn't a very good gun, but it has. But your command's not going to be fighting that much, but says, well, 2 frontal armor, so it's pretty good. Or not that great. It's not that great, but it's just a command. These command infantry, I got them in the best helicopter, because you can then use this helicopter to lay down some missile fire, or rocket fire. And we got 1 thing of trucks. This is for just bringing in some cheapish trucks. And we got the 30-point helicopters for some more supplies. Infantry. Well, I went with what I did. Okay, so we have the Zalaniki, which are reserve infantry, one of my favorite units because they're only 5 points. With a 5-point transport, it makes them 10 points, makes them great spammable. They have a semi-automatic rifle, which is pretty accurate at 40, but it's basically have to use it when stopped because they have no stabilizer. And their ATGM, well, having terrible range, really bad accuracy, and it's actually pretty good at destroying transports into town. I mean, these guys aren't really town fighters because they have semi-automatic rifles, but yeah. Then for main fighting, I got Motorstrelki. They have VZ-58, the RPG-75, and the VZ-59 LMG. And I got them in the OT-62 Hydra 2, which is a very good transport. It's got 2 front armor, 30mm autocannon. It's pretty good transport. Yeah. Little thing about the VZ-58. This is not an AK. This has nothing to do with the AK other than it looks like an AK and they fire the same round. Because if you go look up stuff about it, it's actually nothing like an AK. Then I got 2 things of Prevoronici and OT-62Bs. So these 2 things of fire support basically. You have these with the recoilless rifles, and these guys with their RPG-7 VRs. They're pretty good at taking out transports, like tanks, medium tanks. Get some side shots. These guys are very good close range anti-tank. I didn't really go for a long range anti-tank because I don't know. I just never feel that Conquer's M squads. Where are they? Conquer's M. They have 50% accuracy. And yeah, you can fire it. They can fire very long ways away, but I don't know how useful they are. Cause like, they get into there's only 2 of them. They get into a close range infantry fight, they're dead. So I find just taking these guys are a little bit better, and trying to move them up to the tanks. For artillery and anti-air, I went with the Pion, or not the Pion, 2 Pivonka, because it's 20 points cheaper, and I just find it better than this. Like, you get more HE and more suppression. And it doesn't even, and this only has 5 rounds from it, and this has 3, so it's not even that much slower. And 2, and they have the same armor, so. Plus you get this is a lot. This is a very good artillery because it's great at blasting out infantry. You can damage basically any tank with it, with the 10 HE power. You can anti-artillery with it. You can do everything with it. Okay. Strop 2, very good AA, very good non-radar AA. Probably the best non-radar AA in the game. I mean, you put these right on a cliff where they can't get shot at. They will tear up helicopters. They'll tear up planes that happen to fly over, and you don't get very many of them, and they do die very quickly. So for a little bit longer for radar AA, I went with this. It's the only radar AA I would use in the Czech deck. Yeah. They're pretty good, pretty accurate, 50%, 7 HE power. So it's going to take two missiles to take down any plane, because planes need 10 health for some reason. Then I went with these. These are a good complement to the Strop, but most people don't use them, because if you compare these and the Strop, they actually have the same range versus planes, and not that much difference versus helicopters. So, yeah, you have less fire rate, but you have more of these, and they're 20 points. So actually, very good complement to this drop. You put these together, or you put like 2 of these together, and then a little bit further to the side, you put this. Most people will try to RD these because they see more. So, and these are less points, so it saved your strop. Plus, I've shot down so much stuff with these, and people think, oh, well, they don't seem that good. But it's like, they're very good. I mean, their accuracy is only 15%, but remember, you have tons of them, so you just put, it's like AA fields back in like World War II. You just put tons of them all over, and just keep shooting. They have a 20% accuracy, but think about how many rounds they're shooting. So, it doesn't really count that much. Alright, well, I went with tanks with I did. Well, I went with the T-62CZ. T-62 is a very good tank. Oh, it is and it isn't. I mean, no, that was probably a bit loud. It is and it isn't, because for its price, you're getting a very big gun. It's 115mm. It's got pretty good AP power. This thing can take care of everything but the modernish tanks. The one problem with the T-62 in real life was it had a very bad rate of fire, which it does. It only has 6 compared to, I think it also had pretty bad accuracy compared to other tanks at the time, because this was the first smoothbore tank with a smoothbore gun to be adopted. I think there was some other experiments going on at the time, but this one was the first one to get a smoothbore. It was supposed to be used as a complement to your T-55s, or according to some Russian I was speaking to, but see, the T-55s are more mobile, and you'd use the T-55s first, and then this thing would give sort of fire support. So it's sort of like a medium-heavy tank kind of role, and that's why I also got the T-55s, because you're complementing your T-55s with the T-62s, because these are pretty good at doing anything. You can, I don't know, as long as they don't have anything big in tanks, these things are fine. T-55, you got that anti-tank guided missile, the Recon, 50% accuracy, 21 AP. I can go through basically every tank in the game except for the 100 and some point ones. I mean, then we got the only problem is these are prototypes, so you can only take one, which I mean, yeah, you could go with you could take 2 of these, but it's probably just better to take 1 squad of these. And then we got T-72 M1M, pretty good tank, 15 front armor. It's got an anti-tank guided missile, and then these are good tanks with 15 front armor and their gun stats. So if you can actually do most of your tank battles with these. But if you really need something, you bring in the Moderna. Moderna is probably one of the best tanks ever designed, completely overhauling a T-62. Giving it a 30mm autocannon. It can, it's a tank with anti-helicopter, with a good anti-helicopter. It's definitely like if you have a Czech deck that's not motorized, you need to put the Moderna in it. What else? Recon. Well, you always gotta get a Recon helicopter, just because, for those early spots. This has exceptional view range. Why I went with it over the basically BMP-2 is because this has an anti-tank guided missile, which means that if you happen to sneak this on the side, it can get that anti-tank guided missile off and maybe do some damage to a tank. Compared to this, which just has an autocannon, I mean, this does have more armor, but I got these guys over the other ones because these guys have a sniper rifle, which makes them infinitely more useful. Because Sniper rifle with 95% accuracy. It will never miss, basically. Then for vehicles, we went with the Pram. Why I went with the Pram? Because it's 120. It's 120 millimeter mortar that's using direct fire. Very good at knocking out. Not very good at killing infantry, stunning vehicles, and it's got an anti-tank guided missile and a light machine gun. So pretty good. It's got a regular Conkers. Then we went with the Conkers M, which for anti-tank. Here's your long-range anti-tank. As long as you keep this hidden, which it's got very poor stealth, so yeah, you put this behind your tanks. Use them as complements to your tanks. And for infantry support, TO-55's always great. The flame, just bring it into any town fight, bring it into the woods, always good. Helicopters. This is probably the best helicopter in the game, because it's really cheap, and it's got tons of rockets, and you can take tons of them. So, they're infinitely useful. There, and you have the Dolphins, both Dolphins. Dolphins they're great. They die, but you bring out all of them at once, so there's so many that they never get shot down. Huh, that's weird. Oh, these are napalm. Yeah. And I didn't do the Navy. I probably should, but I don't really want to. So yeah, that's the Czech deck.